Hey, what's up guys? Drew here over at RevHiker Outdoors, and this is the second in my series of top 5 uses for an Altoids tin. So basically the first week, if you guys remember, I did a video on this, an Altoids tin wallet, and I continue to use it. It's got all my stuff in there. And just a quick overview, I got all that junk in there and not going to go through it all, but that's a wallet. I'll put a link in the video for you, or a card or something like that. But let's get on to this week's, which is a wilderness survival tin kit thingy majigger. Anyway, this'll help you survive in an emergency in the woods. Now, there are a lot of good videos on urban ones of these, especially done by the Urban Prepper, and just go ahead and search the Urban Prepper on YouTube, and he'll pop up. And actually, if you're a fan of the channel, you know that I've done some videos with him. Really cool guy. Anyway, you'll notice I've got a tape theme going on here. I had tape on this one, and I've got tape on this one. The tape on this one mainly is to keep it shut, and also you know, this tape can come in useful for first aid and a lot of other things in an emergency situation. So let's go ahead and open this up. Grab the little tab here, nice and secure, and then that pops right open. Now the first thing we'll see is you see the paper that comes with every Altoids tin, and that is the first layer that I've got here. And let me just move this out of the way secret-like, so you can see what's in here before I reveal the rest. This is just a little plastic baggie. Good for a lot of different little things, but mainly to keep the stuff in here dry. This little piece of paper, this tissue paper that comes with the Altoids tin, great tinder. That's why it's in there. You know, emergency situation, you want to be able to get a fire going. It can signal, it can keep you warm, it can cook your food, it can purify water. You want a fire. Next, I've just got several Band-Aids in here, just run-of-the-mill Band-Aids. I mean, you know, every little kit should have one of these, or a few of those. I also have an alcohol prep pad. This is good for disinfecting stuff if you get a wound or something like that and you need to kind of clean the area. It's going to hurt like a bear, but it'll get it clean before you take care of it. So got one of those in there. You could probably slip a couple more in there without too much trouble, but for this purpose I just put one in. And then I've got some more tinder for starting fires, and like I said, it's all in this nice little Ziploc type baggie to keep everything dry. Let's get that out of the way and bring the main kit back in. So let's dig in. The first thing I'm going to do is pull out this little baggie. This is just another little Ziploc bag, again to keep stuff dry and separated. And these are, well, I'll show you what these are. These are this right here. Potable aqua. These are just iodine tablets, guys. This is for disinfecting water. If you are having a really hard time getting a fire, or whatever the case may be, you want to be able to drink. You're going to need water. These can be used right inside this Altoids tin. So the tin itself you can use to purify this water. Now you're probably going to have to break these tablets up, and you know, because there's a specific ratio, and you know, before you do this you should become you know, you should pretty much have it memorized, the ratio that you need to disinfect water. But anyway, in a real pinch you can use this. Now I'm hoping that if you get into this bad situation you've got more than just this on you, but you know, this could suffice if it's all you had. So anyway, there you go, there's that. Got some water purification, got a cheesy little compass. If you know kind of the area that you're in, this can be really helpful in knowing which direction to go to get out. So again, this is a little El Cheapo one. You might want to put a little better one in there, but this thing will get the job done. Let's see what else. Paper clips. I've got several of these kind of packed all over the place. These things are great. There's so many different uses for these things. There's no specific one use that I have them in there for, but they're light, they take up very little space, and there's a lot of different things that you can do with these, especially in a pinch. So I just think they're good to have around. That brings me to this. Let's snake it out of here. This is a bundle of 2 fish hooks, and I just kind of put them side by side and then wrapped as much line around there as I possibly could. This is just a little emergency fishing kit. It's not fancy, but it's a lot easier to have real hooks than it is to make hooks. Could you make them out of these? Yeah, but they're going to be pretty weak and it's going to be a pain in the butt. Having a couple hooks in there is just easy insurance, along with some line, which is also hard to replicate. So there's that. Next, we've got some, this is just some sewing thread, some heavy duty sewing thread on a little metal spool here. And this is good for a variety of things. Now there's also a needle in here, which I'll get to, but you know, a real emergency, you might need to stitch yourself up. It might, you know, might be a real possibility. So I have a needle and some thread, and this is also good for a number of other little things that you might need to make or to tie together. You know, if you wrap this around enough times, it can get pretty strong. And I think there's like, just on here, there's close to 100 feet or something like that. So there's quite a bit of thread on there. Next is some heavier duty cordage, and since I didn't bring any paracord or anything like that, I figured this wire could double as that. This is good for snare wire, for helping put together shelters and things like that. This is just a kind of a medium to light duty wire, and but it's really good for a lot of different things. You know, this stuff is great to have. Can do a lot of different things, from fishing to trapping to shelter building to, you know, binding up a broken limb if you need to use a couple sticks as splints. Next thing, this is a Leatherman style PS. It's got scissors, it's got the pliers, got a little screwdriver slash file, you know, pry bar, whatever you want to call it, and then a pair of tweezers, which can be very useful. If you don't want to use this and you'd rather have something with a knife on it, because this is lacking a knife, you could go with something like this, the Leatherman Squirt PS4. Got a knife, has scissors, has a couple screwdrivers, and has the pliers. If you don't like Leatherman and you're a Swiss Army knife guy, you could go with a Victorinox like this. Little blade, little scissors, toothpicks, tweezers, and a little nail file screwdriver type thing. Or you could go with just a simple blade, something like this little lockback Schrade that was when they were still made in the USA. Or you could go, if you really wanted to rearrange some stuff, you can technically fit that bad boy in there. That's about as much knife as you're going to get for an Altoids tin. This is a Victorinox Pioneer, Alox, however you want to say it. I've heard it both ways. Don't have scissors, don't have pliers, but you got a much bigger blade, and you got a couple other things on here. Got an awl for piercing. So there's those options. Here's that needle I was talking about. That's just a big old whopping sewing needle. Okay, razor blade. If I can get it out here with my fat fingers. This is just great to have. Fine cutting tests, or just really anything. There's so many different things that you can do with this. And for the size and the weight, there's no reason it shouldn't be in there. Ferro rod. This is about as big as I could get in here. It did have a handle on it, but I took it off so that it would actually fit. And I can still get a very good purchase on this and strike. Now I didn't put the striker in here because I figured I'd have this or another tool, or if in a bind I could even shave this down on a rock and probably use that to throw a spark if I really needed to, or I've got the razor blade. So there's that. I mean, obviously a ferro rod is, for me, the best choice for a fire because it's going to last the longest and there's really no way it can fail. Some more paper clips in there. Let me dump those out. Come on now there. Alright, that brings us to this, which is basically just an old membership card that I wrapped a boatload of electrical tape around. Electrical tape is good for first aid, or really, I mean, there's so many uses for tape. And for the space that this takes up, you can't argue with it. You can also shave down this card to use as tinder, as this plastic, if you make fine shavings, will definitely light and burn for a while and help get your fire started. So there's that. Then we've got a little rescue mirror in here. Now I did trim this down so it would fit in the tin, and I left the protective coating on there so it wouldn't get all scratched up. And then I put it, you know, this is the coating that makes it reflective, so I put that on another layer of this paper, again, to keep this from wearing off. And if this does stay dry, you've got some more tinder in there. This is great for signaling, for rescue. You know, for the size of it, you can't leave it out. And then also the tin itself. Now the tin is useful for a lot of different things in a wilderness situation. You can boil, albeit small amounts of water, but you can still boil water in it to purify water. That's in case you don't have any of these tablets or anything. You can boil water in here. You can make char cloth, and I mean, there's a multitude of things that you can do with this tin that just makes sense to carry it. So anyway, guys, that's my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I kind of went through things quickly, but I don't want to make these too long. So stay tuned for next week. We're going to get into some more really cool uses for Altoids tins. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. God bless you. Have a great day, and I will catch you next time.